In today's video, we're going to be going over training ground setups for Captain America, Storm, and Doctor Strange. We're going to be going over the ability rotation, Omega cards, everything you need to progress with your alts in training grounds. Before I start the video, quick reminder, I have a giveaway going. It gets pulled next Sunday, and all you have to do is put my keyword in the comment section down below, the keyword space, and then whatever you liked or disliked about the video. It's also a promotion for my HelloFresh sponsorship, where several members have already messaged me with the food they've made and said they love it so far. Go ahead and give it a try. If you use my HelloFresh link down below, you'll get 10 entries into the giveaway. Let's get into it. Alright, so for Doctor Strange, the abilities we're using are right here. Remember, these are set for your alts in the 500 to 800k range to let you do training grounds or slowly progress through the main story. First, we're starting with, as a quick reminder, these builds are for your alts in the 500 to 800k range to let you do training grounds and progress up the level chain. So we're starting right here with Master of Mystic Arts, Circular Shackles. It's a huge area and it clumps everything up together. This is part of a 1-2 combo that I'm about to show you, and normally kills a huge wave if you do it right. Gateway Summoning, Gateway Launch. Huge straight ahead, does a butt ton of damage, and then when you bring them together with Circular Shackles, and then followed up with Gateway Launch, you'll be able to waste an entire group. We're following that up with Eldritch Sword, Eldritch Defense. This got recently buffed for more damage and a damage decrease while it's up. It seems to be the area that it's in seems the melee decrease range. I haven't tested that at all, but it's going to decrease at least some damage from the training grounds monsters, as well as do damage as you see from the swords. Then we got Book of Ashanti, Ashanti Assault. These last two skills are your single target. They're going to kill the elites if you have a good villain damage, and they're also each going to kill at least one actual target. So this does about 1000% damage, pretty quick, and then just on to the next target. Last but not least, 7 Rings of Ragdor Ring Repulsion, 1400% damage. If you're too close to the target, you teleport backwards and then shoot it. As I said, those are your 2 single target damage skills, and should help you get through those elites on auto. Next, let's get into... So we got our Omega cards. This is the same one I'm going to use for all of these guys. The big difference is going to be if you don't have the Iron Man card, what to use in place of the Iron Man card. Right now, with these cards right here, 5-star and Iron Man at 6-star, this is over 75% villain damage, which is what I'm going for. So if I don't have the Iron Man card for Doctor Strange, I would recommend the Secret Avengers 2014 villain damage decrease. Not really a stat that we want the most of, but it will fill up that 2-set bonus of stamina recovery. You have tons of options. You have cooldown from set 2 and several other things that you can pick for just a 1 card, but you're on auto and a lot of those don't always help, and you're only fighting villains, so having this villain set is something important for you to have. Next, let's get into... So Doctor Strange Enhanced Potential is kind of awkward. We're going to go over what I believe to be enhanced potential. So you have a couple ways you can approach enhanced potential. If you're going to be getting the 500 crystal offers every week to get 1,000 potential a week, it takes 13,500, I believe is the number, to max everything. And so if you're getting 1,000 a week, it's going to take several weeks, as well as training ground drops and things like that. So what I would suggest is you have two options. You can either focus the numbers you need for your individual character, which I'll go over, or you can go for what is the most bang for your buck, which will be everything in the first slot, everything on the second slot, and working your way down. So the one, if you want to go towards stat specific, uh, I would pick up the attack on the first row, just to have have those base numbers. For the second row, definitely going to want that cooldown decrease no matter what I'm doing. If I'm doing a lot of PvE specific content, the ultimate gauge recovery is good. If you're focused on PvP, leave it alone. Then on the third section, cooldown obviously, and status effect, not really caring about it. For the fourth one, we're going to want everything here. Crit rate, crit damage, get attack when you can. And then on the last, accuracy rate if you're doing PvP. If you're doing PvE, forget about it. And the other two are also when you can. But I would rather get the defense and HP on the first one before caring about defense and HP on the last one. Next, let's get into companions. So Thena is obviously a good option for all these characters. Specifically on Strange, Baron Mordo is by far your best option because Strange's abilities aren't having him go too far, so he's not going to be far away when Baron Mordo goes to use Overflowing Mana. Overflowing Mana gives damage, cooldown, and ultimate gauge. And Strange's ultimate specifically gets more ultimate gauge when he kills targets. So when you max out his ultimate, he uses his ultimate. If he kills 4 or 5 targets and you have good ultimate gauge recovery, if you have max ultimate gauge recovery, he's ready to drop people again. If you have good ultimate gauge recovery from boots or whatever, uh, every so often he's doing the ultimate, which Baron Mordo lets him do it even more often and almost guarantees kills more often from the ultimate. So those are your two S tier companions here. You have other options if you don't have those. On the rare category, there isn't really great summons for Strange. You have Urs, where's it at? Urs, Kasim. Kasim for the bonus effect, putting him on your slot. You have Urs, Kasim, Mordo, and Ghost Rider as the collection bonus EXP gain, which you're going to want for training grounds. And for your board, as in the slot 2, 3, and 4, you're going to want things like stamina recovery from Kaya, stamina recovery from Donna Ports, or even Ghost Rider has attack and defense, which is obviously things that are fine. If you don't have Thena or Baron Mordo for your summon, some good options are Gilgamesh, Spider-Man can be fine, or War Machine. Next, let's get into for strange costumes. God of Magic, Gateway Summoning, that's our big AoE skill. Increasing that is great for us, but that's for training grounds and some PvE specific. If you want to go towards more game modes, that would be Defenders for Rings of Ragador, which we are using. It's just single target, and in training grounds, it won't be as good as the previous costume, but in other game modes, in the PvP game modes, Defender's Cloak will be the costume to help you out. Next, let's get into the next character. Alright, onto Storm. These are the abilities I suggest. We're starting off right here with Atmosphere Control Electric Explosion. You throw it straight down. It does damage over time. You set it and forget it. It does good damage, and you can go on to the next thing. And right here is a toss-up. As you get stronger on Storm doing the training grounds, you move into this Weather Witch Chain Lightning. And that's if you're fighting the wolves or other packs of training ground monsters. But if you're specifically going after elites, then Electrocution will be your best option as it does better single target damage. But if we take a look, 21 seconds for Electrocution, 8.8 seconds for Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning will help you clear waves, Electrocution for single target. Then we go into Lightning Attack Thunder Crash. Hits everything around you, even if you can't see them on your face. You can hit everyone behind you as well. 800% damage, really good. Then we go into what I think is one of the coolest abilities, Pressure Manipulation Central Whirlwind. You run in, boom, knock everyone back. It works well together because Lightning Attack does not stop them from approaching you. As you see, it does like but there's no knockback or whatever. So as you throw the Lightning Attack, if they don't die from Lightning Attack, they're still closing in, getting closer to you. And then Pressure Manipulation Central Whirlwind knocks them all back and probably kills everything. Finishing off with Icicle Crash Explosive Hail. I wanted a really powerful single target ability here. This is a pretty quick animation. Throw it in. If you are using Weather Witch Electrocution, I would move Electrocution further back. So I would move the number 3 to number 2, number 4 to number 3, and then move right here Weather Witch Electrocution to number 4, followed by Icicle Crush Explosive Hail number 5. Next, let's get into... We got the Omega cards. This is the set I used. This is over 75% villain damage, which is the only number you need. Even the elites are considered villains, not super villains. So if you do not have the Iron Man 2018, then for Storm, because of her stamina recovery issues, I would recommend Secret Avengers 2014. Villain damage decrease lets you use less potions, as well as you can see, the 2-set bonus is stamina recovery. Next, let's get into Enhanced Potential. So starting at the first, attack, best option, max that out. It's the lowest cost. You'll get the best bang for buck, maxing attack on the first one out first. Then we go into the second one, depends on what playstyle you want to do. If you want to do PvP and want to focus on some guard break, guard damage in the middle is good. Status effect accuracy is whatever. Ignore it. Next we get into attack is good, but diminishing returns versus the first attack. Get it when you can. It's a luxury buy. Then, as I said earlier, guard damage is for PvP if you're going that specific route. Not all routes want guard damage. Lightning Storm number 1 for Defense Pierce. Max that out if you're doing PvP at all. A little bit of Defense Pierce goes a long way in PvE, whereas in PvP you want to max it as soon as possible. Then the fourth one, as I said in the previous, you do want this attack, but you want to go the first one, then the third one, then the fourth one for attack. Cooldown, the middle is going to be good in all game modes, PvE and PvP, as well as crit damage is going to be good in all game modes. And the last one, defense, HP, they're good ones to have, but I would focus on the other stats first. If you want to do the PvE only, get those PvE stats, and then you can look at the starter defense and HP, and work your way down to the last defense HP. Accuracy rate is going to be really good in PvP. If you're going to do PvP, go ahead and grab that up. Next, let's get into companions. So Athena is going to be really good for Storm because you put it down. Storm's not going to move too far, so she should get the attack bonus, as well as if she does move a little far, Athena still does damage in the area. Now, an alternative that Storm has in her arsenal is Donna Ports. Donna Ports gives the same amount of damage bonus, but only for typed damage. Check my previous videos to see what that means. But Donna Ports effectively does the same thing as Thena, just not that little bit of damage in an AoE. Donna Port's also a quicker cast time, so you have it up more often. Not to mention her bonus effect just for having her on your board gives you stamina recovery, which, as we said, can be an issue. Some other things to look out for is Kaya on your board for stamina recovery is going to be a good thing. Urs, Kasim, Ghost Rider, and Baron Mordo, their collection bonuses are EXP gain, whereas Kasim's bonus effect is EXP. So those are ones to look out for. I haven't really mentioned it in the other ones, but technically I believe, yeah. So Yondu is also, but it's a rare versus a special, which is why I haven't brought Yondu up, because a 5-star special is hard to come by. Next, let's get into for costumes. There's not even really a conversation. 80s is your best outfit with Weather Witch, because in this farming guide with Chain Lightning, which hits multiple targets, that's good in the PvE setting that we're currently using it in. But when you swap over into other PvE and such as single target like raids or PvP, when you just want to kill a single target, you swap it over to Electrocution, which is the same ability, which is Weather Witch. Next, let's get into the last character. On to Captain America. So these are the abilities I'm using. Remember, this is the 500, 800k for your ults range. I prefer Captain's Leadership, Captain's Patience. It gives it to your entire team, but you're primarily going to be on your own, or you can go in with people. If you don't feel that you need the extra HP, Combat Proficiency Power Up Punch has a quick animation and really high damage for a small AoE. Next, into the main abilities that we're using is going to be right here, Spearhead Forefront. This does 2 dashes. It's pretty quick. You're not doing it for too long. And if you grab the same target, you do the full 1,077% damage. Follow that up with Reporting for Duty Precise Attack. It goes from a slight range and then puts you in melee, which will go into our next abilities. Doing decent damage, hitting several targets, and doing defense down. Next, into our biggest damage skill, Sentinel Liberty Indomitability. You spend and do a fuck ton of damage, and how this is currently working is we do Forefront into Reporting for Duty. They're both shield absorption class skills, which will give us our shield gauge. Each of them gives us 25% shield gauge, as it says in the middle, kind of in white text. So it'll put us 50% out of 100. We can't use shield gauge unless we're at 100. So every 2 rotations, we'll have a full gauge. So it'll be Spearhead into Reporting for Duty, Spearhead Reporting for Duty, followed up by Indomitability. When that does happen, it'll be a 30% additional damage. And that's because this does multiple ticks to do the full 1722% damage. That 30% bonus will go across all hits, giving you a full 30% on everything. Last but not least is Unbreakable Will Subdue. This is also a release type skill. So if you want to do more, this is like a small AoE, whereas Dominal is a huge AoE. If you want to do more quick damage, you can change the 2 to give you quicker high damage. Next, let's get into Enhanced Potential. You're going to want Combat Training number 1, Attack. Then we go on to the second one. Guard Damage Decrease is only good in high level PvP because some builds are going for guard damage, including the character wrong, Captain America. So guard damage decrease is good, but specifically in high level PvP. HP recovery is kind of a wash. Uh, it can have fringe uses if you're using the Volstagg companion, which can be good. Next, we get into crit damage. Everyone wants crit damage. Pick it up in all game modes. HP recovery, same reasons I said before. On to the next. Guard damage decrease, same things I said before. Cooldown, you want cooldown in all game modes regardless. Go ahead and snag it up. Last but not least, defense, accuracy. Accuracy you want in PvP game modes, whereas defense, you'll snag them up as the specializations later on, if you decide to play Captain America, will be good to pick up. Next, let's get into, we got the Omega cards here. So this is the full set. They all do villain damage, putting us overcapped at 76% damage. If you do not have the Iron Man card, I recommend the set for Secret Avengers 2014 villain damage decrease. Always good for your ults, be it here or story. And also gives you the stamina recovery, as almost all of our abilities have the 20 to 40 stamina range. So getting that stamina recovery is going to be crucial. Next, let's get into, so for companions, as your summon, Thena is always going to be a great option for everybody. Other options, if you don't have Thena, War Machine does good AoE. Gilgamesh can do some good AoE. On the rare category, you don't have great options as far as on your board to give you some bonuses. Kaya is going to be good for that collection bonus stamina recovery. Then we got the bonus effect Donna Port's stamina recovery. Then we go into Kasim, who has the bonus effect. So if he's on your board, he gives you EXP gain, as well as Yondu. His 5-star gives EXP gain as long as he's on your board. As far as collection EXP gain, we have Kasim again, as well as Urs, Baron Mordo, and Ghost Rider. Last but not least, let's get into, for his costumes, World War II Sensual Liberty, that's the Whirlwind. This is your best in Training Grounds ability. If you want to use what's good in Training Grounds but also scales and gives you options for other game modes later on in the game, Marvel Now, Unbreakable Will, which is Subdue, the 1-2 kick to punch kick and then kick away. It has two other options that are good uses in PvP and other PvE game modes. Next, let's get into, alright guys, that makes 6 done. Tomorrow I'm going to hit the last 3. Comments down below. Keyword is going to be Storm, STORM. Put a space and then what you liked or disliked about the video to get entered into the giveaway. You can also link down below HelloFresh. Any amount, 1 day or 30 days, and it looks good for me on future partnerships. Till next time, guys.